Hi guys. So I decided to make this video because I hope that what I'm gonna say will help somebody, because it helped me with all the situations that are just falling over my head. And I hope it will give hope to somebody that's going through the same thing, because I experience these kind of things also with YouTube or people sharing stuff like that to give me a little bit of hope and energy. So everybody who knows by now what I'm going through the whole year with my health, the MS, the breast got removed, and now everything else that's now showing up with the MRI. I don't know, it's a lot. It's a lot to handle. I thought I'm getting better. Yesterday I was sitting at a doctor's appointment, had some vitamin C infusion just because it helps when, especially now, because I'm on cortisone. They gave me, my immune system is dropping, everybody's sick around me and in general, so with the vitamin C infusion most of the time helped to have that, and a B12 injection. And after the B12 injection, I felt that my vision got a little bit better. It was like an immediate response to my body, just a little bit. It wasn't a big of a deal, but you saw the difference. And I did take the supplement like Dr. Chaffee recommended under the tongue, the B12. So since my vision got better, it can be from the cortisone, it can be from the B12 that I took, it can be that I was lying, it can be a lot of things. So from that case, the MRI showed the optic nerve. They're saying it's from the MS, but at the same time, one so-called good tumor, it's very small. It was already there in July, and it was growing a little bit at the same time like this happened, and they say no, it doesn't have anything to do with that. But I looked it up, I read some people's experiences, and they all had the same experience, that this so-called good tumor is something that's easily removable, but they don't do it until it's too late, and until it's having and causing damage, because they say it's because of the size that matters. But some specialists, especially in California and New York, there are some clinics who are specialized on these kind of things, like I saw just from my research, and some experiences of people that they got so much relief by just removing it, and it's really not a big of a deal. You don't have to cut your brain open, it's just going through the nose, they're taking it out, and that's it. And then all these people experience that they're getting better, and they had pain for years and years and years, and they were put on medication, so much medication again, to have a pain relief that didn't work at some point. So they were desperate. And everybody who knows me by now, this is a story that I do understand that so many people going through. Talking also to so many people now, with also me doing that, sharing this, understanding how messed up our world is when it comes to the health system. They haven't been heard, and the specialists who are looking into that, who are treating that the proper way, the easy way, the immediate way, are very rare and are not heard. And the same thing applies to the carnivore doctors community, which it doesn't apply to the MS now or something. It's more about how many people have healing stories just by eating meat. That's it. It's no magic pill. It doesn't cost you a fortune. So many people got so much better with so many things they have. So what I can tell you, that when they put me on the medication and everything, and the side symptoms were awful. I can't even describe that, because I had a lot of cortisone over the last couple of years that I have MS, steroids, and I never experienced such a bad response. And somebody mentioned, and it would make sense, that being on a ketogenic diet your body responds differently to medication like it used to, because it was getting used to. I detoxed it, now it's getting back into my system. I'm extremely reacting on it. That would make sense. And the things I talked about in my last video, what happened actually and what was causing it, and hallucination and all these bad things. And depression was one of them, because that's one side effect of the medication. And feeling like you just don't want to be here anymore, you know, you're just giving up at some point, because every time I'm doing something right, fighting for everything, life just doesn't hit me with a stone, it hits me with a damn freaking mountain. And it's hard to navigate through that, as a person, as a mom, as a daughter, as a girlfriend, as a friend, as, you know. And then adding to all of that, that I thought the pain is gone and it's coming back. And again, nobody's listening, that I don't think it's the MS. I think that the optic nerve issues are caused by that, just by the research. They don't look it up even, and I have just patiently have now to wait until it's growing, so I have more evidence with the next MRI and the next problem I'm having with my vision. So if it's that, because that's how it goes, that even the specialists wouldn't look into it, because I have a mess. And again, you have this trash can that every symptom you're having, nobody's looking into different things. And as people know by now, that happened to me already with my breasts, that they were just putting it in a MS trash can, and it wasn't a MS. And if I wouldn't have fight for my life so hard this summer, so damn hard, with so much money, so much doctors, so much pain, so much awful people attacking me and telling me that I'm gonna kill kids because I'm not taking my MS medication, and the whole time it wasn't the MS, and I'm fighting over and over and over. So I'm sorry. I wanted to say to you that the amount of the things that are hitting me in my face, I found God. I found him in every step of these horrible scenarios that I'm going through or gone through, because at the same time, last week, my grandfather died. My mom is sad. My son is trying to play cool. And then at the same time, in my group, in my university group, my old ones, they said one of our colleagues died on a brain cancer, on a brain tumor, with 37 years and left 2 kids. And he was fighting for 1 year for his life at the same time when we discovered these things. So it's like God is hitting me with signs to understand things. And at some point I can tell you, I had the feeling, that was the things that were going through my head. Also that I started reading the Bible every night, finding some peace in it. And I'm not the person for it. I work in IT, I'm a scientist, I am a believer in spiritual things, but not that much. As a kid, I always believed in God. I prayed because I thought I'm something my father actually told me, and my grandfather, you're talking to your best friend and he's always there, he's never gonna leave you. And that was the reason why I always had God with me. But at some point within my 20s, I lost that belief, or, you know, I didn't lose the belief in him, but just this touch, and came back when everything started over and over again, especially in February, before I started being carnivore, when everything showed up and all the side effects and all the bad things that were causing by the medication for the MS they were treating me with, and I just lost hope. And the pain isn't even the biggest issue. It's the hope part that was destroyed over and over, because every time that everything went so well and the MRI showed regression, not regression, how do you say that in English, just a stop of growing of the lesions, and that everything's gonna be all right, everything in my life clicked together, everything was just great, everything at work, at life, at family, everything just clicked. And that's the time when it hits me with the mountain every time. It's not when I'm just down on the floor and having something bad and then these symptoms showing up, which will explain that, some kind of trauma, stress. But if you would know me, I resolved all of my past traumas with a lot of therapy and hypnotherapy and a lot of things in my life. And I found God and all these things, and just knowing that every time that I'm doing something right, these rocks are hitting me. In the end, it doesn't make sense. There are some moments that explain why this happened to me, because without this situation or that situation, something much bigger and beautiful didn't happen. So this is why I found my beliefs again, and I'm just holding on to it every day and praying every day that everything will make sense. It will click together, and I'm gonna be just gonna make me the person that I honestly just always want to be, and tried hard and failed often, but now I have the feeling that he's giving me just situations and powers to get me there, to find ways through the most difficult times, because then you know you can do everything. And I loved this, cannot really recall the quote exactly right now, but it was like, if you're special to God, he's hitting you with all these things because he knows you can handle it, and he knows that you can spread his hope and beliefs. And I love this quote. It was beautiful to just look at this like this, you know, not to be hopeless and just see all the bad things and why is this happening to me, why it's these bad feelings, to put your head into it. It's just about believing that the worst things that are happening to you are happening because you can handle it, and it's gonna be fine, and you're gonna make it, and you're gonna inspire or help or do something bigger than yourself with it. So this is what I want to tell you. If you're going through something that is very terrible, bad, if you're just losing it, I can tell you it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine if you just believe and find something that you're believing in. It doesn't have to be God if it's not for you. It can be something else, but just believing in something that you can hold on, which is bigger than you, helps through that a lot. And yeah, just I wrote with my university friend, and I told her if she heard about the news of our university friend dying from the tumor, and she told me that this week and the last week in her life 4 people died, 4, with breast cancer and tumors, and that the system and the people are not looking into that. If it was caused by the injections of corona, which would be now the most sense at some point, because me knowing that my medication that I was left with for MS, you can look it up, it's called Cravos, the side effects are tumors and breast cancer. And knowing that medications and injections like that can cause exactly these things, that people are dropping that now, even with 37 years, I don't understand why they're protecting these evil people, just thinking that this is what it's. So I just can say, just watching a lot of things that are happening in America, I really hope for it, because I know that most people who are watching my videos are from America. I really honestly hope that everything that's happening now in your country, it's gonna make a big difference, because what happened before makes so many people very sick. And it's not just that. Also in my company, one died this year. Young mother of 2 kids. It's just, when all this started, also again and again and again, I at some point had the feeling that, and it's not a good feeling, but I had the feeling that God is preparing my life for not being here anymore, so I can surround my son with good people and have some things that I can left. That was one of my first thoughts. Honestly, it was like I had it as a sign just to clean my affairs and do everything that I can to leave something behind. And yeah, it was just me maybe giving up with that thoughts at some point. But I'm trying hard not to see that through these lenses, so I'm trying to see it differently, and it will just make me go and search for all these answers, so somebody in this world don't have to go through this. Because if I just look at my research of these things, these are made by people who went through the same thing, and the more people are sharing their stories and what they're going through, and it will help people. It will help a lot of people. So if you're just asking yourself if you should share your story, whatever your story might be, or where to do so, and if you're just thinking about it, please do so. Because even if it's just one person who listens to it, who reads it, who watched it, whatever, or you talk to, it can make a big difference. And I was sitting yesterday at a tattoo artist, and she was a little bit mean, and I didn't like her energy, but I had to write down that I have MS on a questionnaire. And don't tell me about the toxic ink. It was something very special to me, and I had the need to do so. And then she saw that I wrote down a mess, and she started questioning me what I'm doing and so on. And I explained to her that everything in a short version, and told her about carnivore. And she then told me that her mom for 30 years has MS, and she also had the same experiences and stopped taking her medication, and she got also burned by the water. This is how it showed up most of the time, that she was just burned by the water because she didn't realize it's hot. It's the same thing that happens to me over and over. It's awful. It's just not being part of your body, and your body being completely against you. This is just, but it's just an outside thing, you know. In the end, your soul can be protected if you find ways to protect it. For me, it's my belief in God. For me, it's right now reading the Bible, which I would never thought in my life I'm gonna do, but finding some peace. And if you just want to look at it at a different perspective, it's like memes or reels and shorts. It's short information that inspires you, that motivates you, if you just think about these things that are standing there. So if you never considered reading the Bible, there are some apps which you just can read some quotes and things like parts of it, and see if something about it inspires you. For me, it's a completely different view, which is so old, that this knowledge is so old, and it's such still a part of our these lives, and what we can learn from it. It helped me. So I need to lay down. I'm still in pain again. It was getting better. It was getting so much better. And then yesterday when I was sitting at the doctor's, it hit me again. I don't know what was causing it. If it was just for me being outside a lot, because I haven't been that much outside, and maybe the light was just too much for my eye to handle, and the movement because I had to drive the car. Maybe just a combination of these two just exploded in my eye and my head. And today in the morning, suddenly my ear was so bad. I felt like it's swollen, and it has nothing to do with it, just looking it up, but don't know what's causing it in the end. Trying to avoid as much as I can any pain meds and take some cold things to put on my head and my ear, and to avoid now everything else, and just do the basic necessary things. So many people having so many ideas, even with changing the food stuff and so on, so I'm not gonna do that. If you're listening that far and you wanna recommend for me to go vegan or starchy war, which somebody recommended, it's 100% no. Went through these things, made everything worse. Carnivore was the only thing that actually showed in the MRI that there is a progression, and this nerve situation right now, they think it's the MS. I don't think so, as I said. So and I think, I don't know, I just hope and pray, I would say that. And I'm so thankful for the people in this community that I met over the last year as well, that were invested in my situation and tried to help and support and everything. I'm trying to navigate through my new part life that I'm having now, and to make everybody, as much as I can, feel happy and loved. It's not easy, but I'm trying, and I need to respect a lot of things as well as myself and others. So yeah, so sorry if I don't respond to some messages and these things, but right now it's a lot, and I'm not meaning just random messages. I mean also like real health advices and things, and also as soon as these things will hopefully get better and over at some point, because they're saying it can take 2 months now, it's 2-3 weeks to get better. Yeah, it's just a lot, because I was also promoted at work when everything was great, and now I again have to call in sick for weeks, and it's just, and now this time I can't even do anything about it because I cannot see proper, and if I watch long time on a computer, everything is just getting very dizzy, and hallucination are showing up, like random things in my eye which are not there. So and the head is just getting very overwhelming, painful. So today I had no choice than to say I have to stay in 6 for maybe another week or 2. Let's see how this progresses, and it's devastating as well, but I'm trying not to focus on that, because work is work, and your life, your family, and your health is the most important thing to focus on. So every other responsibility and things and people you need to set by side and just focus on family and your health and yourself, and keep you sane. So this is what I'm doing right now. So yeah.